As a chair of the research committee at the Graduate School of Education, one of the things we have been engaged in the last months has been to identify actually the research areas in which GSE research is strong, and what kind of areas we do research with strong emphasis. So even though every faculty conducts research in their specific area of interest, we have identified 5 main areas where research at GSE is strong. The first one is transformative higher education. We have a group of colleagues that are devoted to conducting research in understanding governance, international mobility, internationalization, globalization of higher education, research practices. And I think this is very connected to the goal of the university and the goal of the country, actually, to develop and to strengthen research universities in Kazakhstan. Another area, the second, in which GSE research is strong, is in terms of quality education for all, most specifically inclusive education, equity, diversity, inclusion. This is also a group of researchers that have been doing a very, very good job in trying to understand how schools can be more inclusive, how we can promote equity in schools, and there are some specific topics that we have been addressing within this area, including marginalized populations, rural students, gifted and talented students, and different populations that normally don't receive the best education unless inclusive education is implemented. The third area then is in terms of educational leadership, management and change. Kazakhstan is going for already many years through an educational reform across all levels, from early childhood to university. So some of our colleagues, they conduct research in this area, trying to understand how these changes affect the quality of education, what kind of things can be done in order to improve quality education, again, both in urban and rural context, and with specific topics that each faculty considers important and aligns with the strategy of the country in order to improve the quality of education. Then there is the fourth area that involves language, society and education and learning. That's also a very strong group of colleagues that devote efforts and time in understanding issues related to medium of instruction, how the medium of instruction influences learning, language identity, language in education, how private tutoring also influences, especially in English. Private tutoring in English influences admission to university, admissions, academic achievement, and so on. Then there is a fifth area that is more cross-disciplinary, I would say, that is gender in education. We have also a group of colleagues that have been devoted to understanding how gender issues influence in education, from how gender is represented in textbooks, so how, in order to how females, they progress through a pipeline of higher education in STEM education, and many other topics that are interesting in regards to gender and education. One of my favorite things actually of working at GSE is that our research is very connected with the needs of the country, the needs of the society within the country, but also larger within the region and internationally. So we are blessed by a strong collaboration with different entities within the country, from the ministry to schools to universities to other stakeholders. And we actually do research that is based on our interests, but also that addresses the needs of all these actors in education. So I would say our research is very strong at addressing societal challenges and needs through these collaborations. And also we are frequently sought out by these entities, like the ministry approaches GSE in order to request some consultancy, some advice in some of the issues they are working on. And then we provide expertise on this aspect based on our research, based on our background. But similarly with schools, universities, and some of the research that we do is actually upon request of some of the universities. They have a need that they need to address, and then we try to help them understanding what are the challenges they are facing, what are the possible solutions, and what are the things they can do better to achieve their goals. And finally, another way we address societal challenges is through our students. As I mentioned earlier, most of our students are practitioners, so when they come to the classroom, they have a very good understanding of what are the challenges and the issues and the concerns that are needed to address in the context of Kazakhstan for education, and also in other countries through our international students. So through the research we conduct through students. The students conduct research through master thesis, through PhD dissertations, through their own interest and the kind of research they produce. On their own, under the supervision and collaboration with faculty members, we are able also to address real problems that students consider important in the context of Kazakhstan and beyond. So one example of how research has influenced policy decisions, there are plenty, but perhaps it's easier for me to give an example of how my research has influenced policy decisions. We are working on a project on early childhood education, well-being, and every year the Kazakhstani government, the Ministry of Education and Enlightenment, they provide or they create a report in which they assess the status of education in the context of Kazakhstan. So this report has several sections, and one of them is devoted to early childhood education. So we were requested to write this section of the report in order to provide an overview of the current status of early childhood education, and also to incorporate some of the findings that we have incorporated and we have come up with through our project. This report, as many others, it has strong implications. This report then is compiled and then is presented in the Parliament, and all the members of the Parliament discuss the findings and discuss what solutions can be implemented in order to address this problem. So at that point, when this report is still under development, we contributed with our part. They are finalizing, and when this report is submitted to the Parliament, will be discussed, and some conclusions, including some of the recommendations we provided in our section of the report, will be discussed and perhaps implemented to improve the context of early childhood education in Kazakhstan. Both in the interdisciplinary research and collaboration, they play a huge role in the development of research in our country, in our school. I believe all faculty members are engaged in some form of collaboration, both national and international, with different colleagues from different parts of the world. And equally, all of us are involved in some collaboration with colleagues that belong to other disciplines and other research fields. This involves engineering, this involves medicine, this involves public policy, business, and just to give a few examples. I think these collaborations are important because as in any discipline, but in particular education, the problems we face are very complex, and we need to apply different lenses in order to find the best solutions, the best initiatives that will help us address this problem. So focusing on only one discipline might not be enough, or might not be sufficient, and when we engage colleagues from other disciplines, they help us understand the challenges we face and find solutions that might be not so obvious from our perspective. So I think it's very important, and in this regard we are very mindful about the benefits that such collaborations bring to our school, and we try to promote them as much as we can. One example of such international and interdisciplinary collaboration is one of the research projects that we run at the school on the mental health of university students. Mental health can be addressed from different perspectives: medical, psychological, more sociological perspective. So one of the projects we run in the school was funded by the internal funding of Nazarbayev University. We put together a team of members of Graduate School of Education, the Graduate School of the NU School of Medicine, and also the Psychology Center for Wellbeing here at the GSC, and that was a very interesting collaboration. My background is in psychology, but I was able to integrate together the perspective of colleagues that come from a more medical background, psychiatry and others, as well as some other colleagues from the Psychology Center here and Wellbeing Center at the NU, which they have a very practical experience. They really know well what are the challenges that students face in this context, and with this collaboration we can learn from each other and provide a better product, a better solution, better initiatives to address the mental health and well-being challenges of a student university in Kazakhstan.